What's going on, folks? JPod here, bringing you another fantastic Pixel Enemy gameplay commentary. And today, we will be discussing Uncharted 4 and the real reason why Naughty Dog has delayed it even further. I've got some speculations, I've got some comparisons, I've got some analogies for you guys to enjoy. But before we get into all that, go ahead and enjoy the sweet, sweet B-roll that I've provided for you today. Some Nathan Drake collection at 60 frames per second. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's nothing fancy, nothing special. Uncharted 2 gameplay. If you guys haven't played it yet, shame on you. I can't really feel sorry for you anymore. Spoiler alert. What the fuck you do? What do you want me to do? The game's been out for freaking years, you know, and it's been remastered at 60 frames per second. It's not my fault, you know, that you haven't played it yet, or, oh, spoilers, don't spoil it. I'm sorry. So we're just going to do the first 10-15 minutes here, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't spoil too much for some of you. But for the rest of you, not whining and crying about spoilers, thank you so much for joining me. Let's go ahead and delve right into some information that I've got here. Uncharted 4, originally expected to come out this fall. Games Radar, they reported last month that Uncharted 4 is pushed to March 16th in order to make sure that the game offers a satisfying conclusion. Now, in the original source, director Neil Druckmann explains that holding off on unleashing Nathan Drake's supposedly final journey was a very difficult decision to make. He said the team felt guilty, even horrible, to delay the launch, but that launching a version of Uncharted 4 that didn't live up to the Naughty Dog's vision would have felt even worse. Quote, "There is something that happens that requires quite a bit of work for what we want to do, and again, we would have had to reduce that scope and reduce the ambition to meet that original deadline." Now, this to me is exactly the type of story that you want to hear, okay? Because we're talking about Naughty Dog here. Naughty Dog. Arguably the greatest developing studio in gaming history, console gaming history. And with The Last of Us and the Uncharted series, there's no end to what Naughty Dog can do. So let's go ahead and speculate. What is the real reason why Uncharted 4 has been delayed? Is it really to get the ending just right? Is it to get a few pesky bugs in order? I call bullshit on both parts. I think, personally, they're going to try and achieve the 60 frames per second format. And I can prove this, somewhat. I can almost prove this. Well, let's just go ahead and use a comparison. The Last of Us, arguably the greatest game of our generation. And The Last of Us was remastered at 60 frames per second. Now, this is a fact coming from the horse's mouth. Neil Druckmann said that the only reason they did The Last of Us Remastered was to see if they could achieve the 60 frames per second scale and format for Uncharted 4. That was the only reason for The Last of Us Remastered. It's not for all of you Xbox players that jumped on the bandwagon. It's not for any of you guys. It's to see if they could hit that narrow scope of reality, to see if they could hit that scale, to see if they hit that 60 frame per second mark. And let me tell you, they did it with flying colors. The Last of Us Remastered, if you haven't played it in 60 frames per second, it is legit. It is legit. One of the greatest 60 frame per second games that I've ever played. Even the multiplayer is absolutely gorgeous at 60 frames per second. And to some people who aren't used to that format, it can be rather nauseating. You know, the speed running, the frames kind of go across your eyes a little too fast. It can be nauseating to some, but oh my god, is it not just downright gorgeous. So with The Last of Us Remastered, and Neil Druckmann coming out saying that was the only reason they did it, was to see if they could hit Uncharted 4 at 60 frames per second. Now let's skip ahead 6 months to the first delay of Uncharted 4. And you know, they speculated. We heard Neil and Bruce and the Naughty Dog team talking about trying to hit 60 frames per second, and it wasn't going to be possible. It just wasn't going to be possible. They could do it, but it was going to be really, really difficult. So they were going to settle, and I do believe to this day it's still confirmed, at 1080p 30 frames per second, which is which is still going to look good. It's going to look freaking phenomenal, okay? But now with this new and recent delay, I call bullshit to trying and getting to get the ending right. I don't think that's what it is. I sincerely believe that Naughty Dog is delaying this to try and hit the 60 frames mark. And in my personal beliefs here, I think they're going to delay it even farther. I'm sorry, guys. I know this put a frown on your face. I know I just shit on your birthday cake. I am sorry, but it is going to get delayed again. It is inevitable, and it's going to happen. I am predicting for a summer release. Personally, I am predicting for a summer release. And you know what, Naughty Dog? I say take as long as you want. Take as long as you want. Take another 6 months. Push it off the fall. Okay, if you're going to get this game right, push it off the fall. Okay, push it off the summer. You know, as of the now March 16th release date, it's going to get pushed back again. I'm sorry. I'm sincerely sorry for shitting all over your cake, guys, but it's going to happen. And you guys are going to laugh your ass off when it does, because it's going to be for the greater good. Because remember, Naughty Dog, they don't release piles of shit. They release piles of gold. And they have been known for this for 10 years. And seeing that Uncharted 4 is going to receive that nurtured, catered, a time lapse, this time frame to take your sweet time on, I say take all the time you want, because I would love to have Nathan Drake Uncharted 4, as gorgeous as the trailers looked. I think it's going to happen. Let's step away from this and talk about some of the trailers, okay? Because everybody, you guys remember the Watch Dogs fuck up, right? Where they showed the E3, it looked absolutely gorgeous. Then the game came out and it was a pile of shit, okay? They call that trickery, okay? That is some scandalous, scandalous shit. And game publishers, game developers, they've been doing that for many, many years. They call it the old bait and switch. Say it with me. Say it with me, all of us together. Bait and switch. We've all been there. We've all been baited and we've all been switched. So, seeing this, I don't think that's a situation. I think we're going to get 60 frames per second, guys. I sincerely believe that. And in order to achieve that 60 frames per second, they are going to have to push it back even farther. I seriously don't see it happening coming out in March, because Blue Point, they did the Nathan Drake collection, and phenomenal job, Blue Point. You guys did a fantastic job remastering the Nathan Drake collection. So given 6 more months, do you guys think that that's enough time to completely revamp Uncharted 4 into 60 frames? Because look at the remastered edition. When The Last of Us first came out, I think it was, what, 9 months later, they announced the Game of the Year edition and the remastered edition for the PlayStation 4. So let's go ahead and use that same time scale here. 6 months from now, it adds up. It adds up. From a fall 2015 to a spring 2016 release, it all adds up for the 60 frames per second. I'm putting my money on it, guys. I'm putting my money on it. So, hey, if you guys enjoyed today's video and if you have your very own speculations, please participate, conversate down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.